Well, it's another week. It was great to get the win at FIU. I was very proud of our team. I thought we had a really good week last week. Preparation, coaches did a good job of game planning. We knew we'd face a team that would come out and feisty. I knew who was coaching them. And Coach Turner's been at every level. I mentioned that in some of my interviews since the game. And Andre Patterson. Those two guys do a great job of coaching. Andre's done a great job, whether on the college level, NFL level, and so has Coach Turner. And the coach is putting his program in. We talked about that before the game, and he has great respect for our program, and I have a great respect for his. And to go on the road and win is hard. Wins are hard in this, and to win a conference game on the road and another team's background and in their place is always hard. And I think sometimes there's a tendency to forget that, but we won't, not as coaches and as a program. And having been this for 33 years and doing the same thing for 33 years, I was talking to Arlene about that last night and how long we've been doing this. You understand and appreciate it, and it was good. I like the poise, and I thought of it as a stick-to-itness by our team, but a sustained focus to stick with the game plan, but also within that take adjustments that the coaches made, whether it was during or at halftime, and been able to take that, accept them first of all, and then take them to the field and execute what we wanted on both offense, defense, and special teams. There's always some plays you like to have back, this play or that play or that, but to be able to come through and fight through it. And I know people have asked me about the crowds and all that, but I think the thing this team is realizing, it's about us, and I've talked about that a bunch, and it's how we prepare, and it's not what we do, it's how we do what we do. I think is important. This team understands that. So within the game, they're able to understand the vision and the focus and sustained focus that it takes to accomplish that. And I was proud of the team for being able to do that. I thought our leaders, which a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but y'all don't see how they interact before the game and during the week and during the game and even after the game, once the game is over. Our leaders on our team did a great job. I've talked about the large core of leaders that we have on our team, and it makes our job as coaches easier because you can go to those guys even before, but they understand what we want and how we want it, the standards we want. And not just for the opponent, but for ourselves. And that's just having a pride in what they want to, their performance, and a pride in how we do it, and we want to do it and want to accomplish it. We're not there yet, and a lot of work to be done, but I like the progress they made, and our leaders have done a really good job of doing that. They're understanding our practice process of, like last night, for example, making sure we have a great night last night. It was a shorter practice because we arrived late on Sunday morning and had a long day of study hall and training and sports medicine and then Coach C, but we had long meetings, but a quick, snappy practice, which they understand that. And then today, you all know, is a planned day for us, and tomorrow is a big work day. And what they've done is understand that it's about doing the best you can and that day in practice, and making sure we do everything we can that day in each play in practice to prepare just to have a chance and opportunity for success on Saturday in this case. So the practice process and the game process have been key and will continue to be key. I thought we played very hard in the game. When you watch film, we expect to play hard every game, but to get that is, you say, well, everybody should play hard. That's not true, and that's not true. Everybody should play hard. It takes a talent to be able to play hard and to go full speed. And I used to, anybody can play. No, not anybody can. And this takes a lot of mental discipline and to be able to do that and to do it for a sustained period of time. But our team really strained. That's a word that Coach Dahl uses with special teams, is they strained to make plays, and that was good. I thought our fundamentals were very good this time of the year, and we want to make sure that's continue continues to be an emphasis for us. Because this part of the season, we will not decrease, but it will escalate as far as fundamental emphasis. We talked about that yesterday as a staff at our staff meeting, and we began that last night. But I thought we did a good job of that. They did a really good job of playing together. I've talked about complementary football, where each side is feeding off the other. I think we're getting better at that. That's a part of our game or makeup or personality of our team that I want to continue to grow and to get better, is really getting to a point where it's great complementary football, where we feed off one another. And it'll be key. It'll be definitely key this week. I think the emphasis is to continue to do our job. Just do your job. Be as good as you can be on that play, and execute your job on that play. We've talked about making routine plays, whether it's a routine tackle, catch, block, throw, whatever it might be. Make sure it's routine and keep doing that. And then playing that play that you're playing, and then understand that play, put that play behind you, and then play the next play. It seems like a simple thing to do, but that's what this team, those leaders I'm talking about right now, they've been able to do that, and we got to continue to do that. We have a great task ahead of us this week, playing Tulsa. I know they've had some injury problems, but so have we. I mean, we're not a team to talk about injuries with. We've had our share too as well. Coach Blankenship's a really good football coach. I've known him for a long time. I guess I say every week, but he's done a really good job of building his program the way he wants it. And since he's taken over and done a good job of putting his people and kids in place. So we know we'll have to have a great week this week. I know they had a tough one last week against Larry's team, but Larry's a good ball coach too. One of the things I noticed, and I mentioned a couple of times when I went to the head coaches meeting, was when you look around the table, and we sit in a square form at the table where you can see each coach, and there are a lot of good football coaches at that table, and Coach Blankenship's one of them. So we'll get into them a little bit here now. Injuries, Jaton Beavers is out. He'll be ready for spring ball, so he's out. You know about him. Adam Asawi is out, but he's doing well, and hopefully we can get him back in 4 weeks, hopefully. Yeah. At the earliest. So we'll keep an eye on that. Drayvon Fairley, he's coming along very nicely and progressing well through his rehab with his knee. Jake Geary is still out. He's not progressing like we thought, so we have him out. Davon Grace, you know about him. He'll be ready for spring ball. Jeremy Grove, we're going to try to give him a little more work this week. Last week it was a little bit tough for him, and he feels a lot better last night, and we've been given the go-ahead of giving him, increasing his workload with some limited action. Corey Hunter, you know about him. Cody Keith is back, and he's here, and he was involved yesterday with the quarterbacks, but he's out, and we'll get him ready for hopefully spring, but won't rush him back. Zico Pursuit, he's doing well, and hope to have him back maybe by the Marshall week. Earliest. He's progressing well, and of course Jimmy Williams. So that's where we are right there. Just normal nicks and bruises from that first, like it is this time of year. Playing the teams we play, very physical with that. I'll go right into Tulsa. Offensively, Cody Green is their quarterback from last year, and he's a big human being. I can remember him from Nebraska and Nebraska side. Really big player, good-looking player, 6'6", 250, 6'5", around that 250. Carries himself well. I know Coach Blankenship rotated Dane Evans as well with him in a couple of games, but on Saturday they rotated in the San Antonio game, and we could see both, but we're prepared for both, and then both are similar. And Dane throws the ball well, but so does Cody and runs well. And there'll be a quarterback design type offense where they have a weapon and one of the best backs in the league, and Trey Watts. He's one of the best all-around backs in the league, and I know he's up for a lot of award candidates and a lot of awards there, and he is deservedly so. Really a good running back, and he's one of the players among many we have to be concerned with. Also, Jatarian Douglas rotates with Trey, but not much, but Jatarian's a good football player too as well. But Trey's a guy that can hurt you run or by pass, and he's a good runner. Outside, Jordan James and Kevin Lukes are two receivers that we have to make sure we have definite great eye control, understand where they are, and up front, Stetson Burnett is a preseason All-Conference USA offensive lineman, and they'll be one of the biggest teams we face this year as far as size-wise on both sides of the ball. Coach is really getting a team that's they're young, but they're also very talented, and we're looking forward to having to prepare for them. That's going to be a great challenge for us, and we're excited about that. Defensively, 5 starters from their championship team comes back on defense. They're a 4-man front, which means even front, and they blitz. And watching some of the games, they blitz a little bit more in some games than others, but really do a good job of playing base defense and with some movement and stunts up front and on the back end being very sound, and they blend their coverages, but they've done a good job just basing out a 4-man front, 4-3 type concept. Sean Jackson, I think, is their leader. He's 6 foot, 255 in the middle of defense. He's a football player. He's one of the best linebackers in the league, and he'll be playing on Sundays. He's that good and strong and can really move and has a great eye. He's a senior, been through it, been there and done that. Michael Mudeau is a safety that shows up, fits on the run extremely well, very physical safety. We have to be aware of him. Derek Alexander is a guy that plays defensive end, outside rusher for him, as well as Brendan Todd. Those two guys have caused some pressure up front for him, and we have to make sure of that. And I think I mentioned Derek Alexander. So you'll see a team they'll be well coached, and again they've been through a championship run, and all these kids have been a part of a championship run. That's a part of all of our vision, I think, in the league of trying to accomplish, and they've done that. You'll see Trey Watts as far as returning, and not just as a running back, but also in the return game. So had to be concerned with him, and we know that. So we're looking forward to the week, looking forward to the challenge, and making sure we have a great day today. And our focus is on Tuesday, having a great day on Tuesday, and in preparation for this week. It's not just glad, but happy as a lark to be back in Dowdy-Ficklin this week. Good to get home. That'll be great. 3:45 kickoff time, I think, and homecoming. So a lot of festivities here in Greenville. It'll be a place to be, no doubt. That's one thing we won't have to worry about is these next games. We'll have great attendance and a lot of electricity involved. And the best venue, I think, and I may be biased, but we'll see the best venue these next 2 weeks here in Dowdy-Ficklin and with our fans, and nothing against anybody else, but I love our home and I love our fans, and I think they're second to none. So I am a little biased. And I was watching, I can't remember when it was, and I saw the game, and I saw the pass, and first game as a head coach, second game as a head coach. The first one was in the Alamo Bowl, but here at East Carolina, and seeing how it ended. And I go, we haven't played those guys since that game, so it does mean a lot, and it's got a special meaning. I remember after the game, Coach Holland and the staff gave me a game ball for the first win, and I still have that, and it's pretty good. And they have a lot of tradition there at Tulsa. They've won a bunch of championships and over the years, and and they recruit from Texas and Oklahoma, two really good football recruiting states, and they have a really good core of players and program. But it does mean something, Billy. I expected even more to be back. The one thing, like when I talk to them, they know I've chewed the same dirt they've chewed on, And I want the same guys who have chewed on that same dirt out there in Dowdy Ficklen and on the practice field, I want them to come back. I want them to be around their team and give them encouraging knowledge and help and making sure they stay there. And so I encourage the former players back. They're not old, but they can't play anymore. You know, some of them are old and their skin will tell like wet tissue. You know what I mean? But like mine would. You know, if I played again. But the spirit is there, and but I want those guys back. I have from the very beginning wanted them to be a program. One of the things that I've always envied from other teams is those teams that I would love for this to be a place where every letterman, not just football, but all sports, but every football letterman understands they're part of this program, and we're all teammates. These guys on this team are still teammates. Jim Post, one of the greatest players to play here on the Wild Dog defense, he's the first one introduced to that term. He says, we're teammates, and that's the first time I'd heard that. And those guys set the pace for us. So I use that now, and Jim Post and Jimmy Creech and those guys that have played, and Kirk Dahl who played with them, that's how they see this team. We see each other as teammates. I want those guys to come back, and I know they'll be a great influence on those guys I just mentioned. They already are part of our team and have a great influence on how we conduct ourselves and off the field and on the field. I want them guys to come back because they've been through some experiences on the field, off the field, some positive and negative. They can help share that wisdom with our players. So as a former player, I want them to come back and enjoy their teammates.